All right, I am live. Welcome to my channel, Inviting Possibilities. My name is Rochelle, and I am here to do a reading for you water signs today. That is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And I am going to do the same format as I did last time, past, present, future. But this is the last time I'm going to be doing it this way because I realized that, in tarot and oracle cards in general, the timing is very fluid and it is not linear in the way that we perceive it. And so calling something past, present, or future doesn't have a lot of relevance. Maybe the future. um, but in my personal experience, having obsessively watched YouTube readers for the last couple of years, I have never had timing actually be what anybody said it was going to be. And the thing about that is it leads to disappointment. If we really want something, we can't help but really want it and feel disappointed if it doesn't happen, if we're told it's going to, or if we think it's going to. So I'm just going to do it this way because it's how I started with this week's sign, doing the elements, the element readings. But then from here on out, I'm just going to do kind of more general readings. So, in the interest of time, I have chosen the past, present, future cards from this deck, The Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. And then I will clarify the whole reading with the Good Tarot. And I was doing card by card clarification, but I started doing with some of the other elements, I started doing just general clarification, and that seems to work very well. And if at some point I feel like I need to clarify something in particular, which actually I don't really think I do, because I already picked my cards and I know the general gist. So yeah. Also, this reading is for anyone who has water signs in their sun, moon, or rising sign. Did that make sense? If your sun, moon, or rising is in a water, I'm not even say I don't even I need to really work on how to say this. So you probably know what your sun sign is. That's what everybody's sign is. Um, the month you were born in, but there's so much more. And to find that out, you can get a free birth chart at astro.com and cafeastrology.com. And those links are below. And yeah, it's totally free. I don't get anything from that. It's just, it's a great way to get a little bit more information about yourself. And so, anyway, the nice thing about that is that um, if you're watching, say, I'll use myself for an example. My sun sign is Virgo, but my rising sign, or I should say, and my rising sign is Scorpio. And my moon is Cancer. So I will watch, when I'm watching videos, I will watch those different elements, those different signs, I should say, to get a bigger, um, to just get the bigger story. And sometimes they resonate and sometimes they don't. And so, yeah, if this doesn't resonate for whatever reason, check out your other signs, your rising, moon, sun, whatever you are. Okay, enough splaining. One more thing. My Wi-Fi is not good, and my video will often get glitchy. It will cut out at places. It the I'm having a hard time thinking and talking all of a sudden. I wonder what's going on, if I'm picking up on something here. I mean, I kind of have this sometimes, but it suddenly I feel like something's hitting me. So, I feel like an energy, like maybe I'm tapping into something. Um with you as the viewer. Are you having a difficult time expressing yourself, finding the right the right way to say something? Anyway, apologies for any problems with this video. It's just the way it is, and thank you for hanging in there. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm just gonna dive right in. In your recent past, I got the mending card. And it's funny because I got this card in a previous reading and I was like, "Oh, she's blowing bubbles." And then I looked at it again and I'm like, "No, it kind of looks like it, but there are no bubbles to be seen. They're working on this thing together." Anyway, I picked this card in the reverse position, in the protection position is what she calls it. And this speaks about how heartbreak is actually, it leads us to healing in a way we may not be able to heal otherwise, or a way we couldn't heal otherwise. And meaning, it's that when we experience pain and suffering in life, which is bound to happen, it's a part of living. It's a part of being a human in this 3D reality. Um, what happens is, through that pain and suffering, it it breaks we very often say my heart is broken. What's happening is it's breaking your heart open so that you can connect with others more easily. You're able to allow in and accept empathy, sympathy, connection with others who want to be there for you when you just can't hold it together yourself. And so it's a great opportunity for connection. It also puts us in a place of being able to have compassion for others. So if we haven't gone through a difficult experience, we don't understand what it's like. And so when other people are going through it, it's very easy to just kind of be like, "Oh, just get over it." Like, "Well, I don't understand why you're having such a hard time. It's fine." But then once you're in it, once you've experienced it, and then you encounter someone who's been through something um, like what you've been through, you're like, "Oh, yeah, I've been there, and I get it." And you're in a tough place, and I'm going to offer you support. I'm going to hold the space for you, and you take all the time you need to get over it, because it does take time, because I've learned that myself. So yeah, it kind of takes you out of the judgment mind and puts you into compassion and understanding, and you're much more able to be kind. So there really is so much benefit that comes from heartache and heartbreak. And also too, it connects us to our higher power, because so often when we're brought to our knees, we find ourselves like surrendering, you know, to whatever higher power you believe in. But very often people are like, whatever there is. Even I know people who don't even, complete atheists, but then something happens and they're like, if there is a God, please help me. Like it it connects you more to this kind of unseen realm that is so there, that is always surrounding us, but without this experience we don't necessarily tap into. And so it can also be really healing in that sense, because it can connect you much more to your inner most authentic self. So it's really, whatever you've been through in the past, and you could be going through it right now. This could be, it's going to eventually be your past, but you could be dealing with this now where you're going through some kind of heartbreak and it's not easy. And just know that there's so much sweetness that can come through a difficult situation in so many ways. And just try and surrender and open yourself to that if you haven't already. And this card in the past is telling me that you will. Okay, so then the present card, we got poised. And this is really cool because this is telling me that you either have gotten through this heartbreak into this place. Look how empowered she is, how just open to whatever the universe has to offer. Poised. You're ready. You're ready for the next big phase in your life. You're inviting it in. And probably having gone through this heartbreak has allowed you, it's sort of like it's broken you down, pretty, you probably pummeled you into small little pieces so that you can build yourself from the ground up on a much more solid foundation. And yeah, in this card, she's on this pillar, this very kind of solid pillar that's, and then from there she can move on upwards. She's got wings. She's got wings. So she's about ready to just fly away. So, whatever you're coming up on, you're ready. You're ready to fly. And being that this is the present card, again, this could be where you're at now, where you're just like, yes, I've gotten through the hard part and I've learned my lessons from this, and I'm in a good place and I'm feeling really good and I'm ready for the next thing. Or this could be on the horizon, almost here, very close. Again, that timing thing is weird. So then in your near future is Never Ending Story. And this card speaks about the stories that you tell yourself that hold you back, that keep you down, that do not support you. It's usually the self-doubt, thinking, well, who am I to do this thing? I'm too this, I'm not enough that. And you want to remember that that story that is being told to you is coming from a place inside that is ultimately trying to protect you. And so the best way to deal with it is to acknowledge it and thank it, and then let it know, I'm in charge and I've got this. And I promise I will prove to you that it's all it's all going to work out. It's all going to be okay. You kind of want to make friends with that part of yourself. Um, because the stories are coming from situations that were painful, times when you did step into quicksand. But it doesn't reflect who you are, it reflects an experience that you had. And all too often, we take the experiences that we've had and we convince ourselves that it means that, you know, I'm a certain way, you know. Um, I I don't know. Let's say it's you have some kind of social anxiety, and in the past you've had encounters with people where you've you haven't said the right thing, where you've felt awkward. I'm using myself as an example here, but you feel awkward. Maybe you said something weird, and people kind of look at you, and you just kind of like, okay, there's my son. Hey, buddy. he just he just messaged me live chat. That's so cool. Um, so anyway, and so you end up taking that experience or those experiences and deciding that, oh well, I'm not good at talking to people. I'm I mean, we say all kinds of terrible things to ourselves. I'm so stupid. I shouldn't ever go out into the world because I'm just going to stick my foot in my mouth and whatever. I mean, we all have our stories, and everyone has a different kind of weak point where they feel like they've kind of dropped the ball, and they consider themselves to be something because of what has happened. And so this is basically saying, let those stories go. Recognize them for what they are, that they are just coming from this scared place inside that is trying to keep you safe. And to know that those stories are just holding you back. Because guess what? You're poised and ready. You're moving. You're not just moving forward, you're moving up. Moving on up. Okay, so I am going to pick some clarifiers. Because this is a really good reading. The never ending story. You got to get out of your head. You got to stop telling yourself these false stories. Stop believing the fearful part of yourself. There's this great acronym that I've learned. Fear is false evidence appearing real. So it's time to stop believing. Stop believing the fear, or the part of you that's feeding you the fear. And tell yourself a new story. Let's see, what do we got? Temptation. We've got a major arcana. Oh, interesting. I have not picked this one before in my readings. So I'm just noticing we have the treasure chest here with the money and the goblet. Almost makes me think of the Holy Grail. And then we've got what is that, a peach, an apple, in the shape of a heart. This figure on here, I almost get the sense like she ate this part of the peach, and and she just had too much. And now she's just like, ugh, yeah, that feeling of just being too full. I ate one too many bites. What's interesting about this heart, though, is I'm seeing lotus flowers. I don't know, there's a pattern in there. And they're it's kind of like a lotus flower, which is, kind of about spirituality. Um, but I'm gonna read what the book says. Number 15, temptation, attachment. The material world is my playground, but I need to be careful not to be attached to outcomes. This is a warning to me to watch for excess and to know what's not healthy for me. When this card shows up, it's a sign that I am focused on the material realm and need to be aware of any excess or addictive behavior, my own or that of others. So as you're poised and ready to go for it, you're ready to begin this new phase in your life, you want to make sure you're very clear on not only where you're moving, but why. And this has come up for other elements, but you want to know your why. Why are you wanting to do this thing that you're going to do? Maybe being poised. I seem to remember like you actually have the knowledge and wisdom to move forward, but maybe you haven't quite jumped yet. And you just want to get really clear on your authentic reason for jumping in the first place. And don't let it be like, oh, I just want to make lots of money so that I can, keep up with the Joneses kind of thing. So it talks about addiction. So like, yeah, you just, as you're moving forward, step into your most authentic self, and get really clear on how you want to show up, how you want to be in the world. I'm kind of thinking that it has to do with these stories. Don't let these stories drive you to the temptation. Because so often, particularly with addiction, it comes from very often kind of being in a victim mentality, kind of being like, oh, these bad things have happened and everything's out to get me, everybody's out to get me, whatever the stories are. It puts us in a state where we feel like we just need to get out of our head for a while. We just need to buffer these bad feelings that are coming up. And so then we lean towards whatever the thing is that kind of buffers that. It covers it up for a while. Okay, notes. What? Whoa. 9 minutes just passed and it felt like 2. Yikes. Okay, you guys. Empress. Okay, first of all, another major arcana. That's really amazing. And the Empress is very powerful about birthing something new into the world. Sometimes it can be a literal birth, but I often take it as, she's holding it kind of looks like wheat. but it makes me think of, kind of the harvest. She's she's helping to cultivate. Um, let's see. Just gonna see what it says in the book. Fertility. hmm This is a wonderful time to give birth to new ideas and experiences. Yeah, because you're poised. Nourishment is assured as I step into a new version of myself. My life is rich and ripe with possibility that I can manifest and create. So you can manifest all these amazing things. You just don't want to overdo it. And you want to you want to make sure you're doing it for the right reason. I'm a powerful co creator, and life loves me right now. My world is brimming with potential and infinite possibility. Yes, inviting possibilities. Infinite possibility that will manifest for the highest good. Yeah. Yeah, there are infinite possibilities. And you're ready. You're ready to invite those in. Embrace them. Wow, it's cool. Nine of air. Nine of air. Just kind of like the nine of swords in the traditional tarot. I can't tell what she's standing on. Some kind of leaf or something. But what's interesting is this is very similar, just the image, to the poised card, where she's standing on something with her wings spread, and she looks like she is about to take off. And has all the birds around her. Like, the feeling I just get from the card is these birds are they're kind of there encouraging her. Like, yeah, yeah, fly with us. You can do this. You have the wings. I'm curious what it says in the book. Because the air cards typically are more about um, mm, this is pretty cool. So this card is about shifting negative talk. First thing it says, shifting the negative talk, shifting the never-ending story, to self-compassion, going from fear to possibility, a call to faith. Yes. So these birds are like your spiritual entourage, being like, follow us. You can do this. See, she's kind of got her eyes closed, and she looks like she's kind of building up the strength, the courage to take flight. And all these around her are like, yes, 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 you can do it. See how we're doing it? Follow our lead. And get out get out of your head. Get into your body. That's the thing about meditation, is it allows us to get centered. It allows us to drop into our body and learn to, it's kind of almost literally a practice of learning to focus our attention, to learn to concentrate, because generally speaking, we kind of let our brains run the show. And our brains are a great tool, but they don't necessarily know the whole story, and will often take us places that are not appropriate. And by using meditation, or yeah, very much like meditation, it gets you out of the brain and into the body, into the heart, into the gut. And that's where you tap into your intuition. Um, Sorry, I wanted to I wanted to look at this one more time. Yeah, shifting negative self-talk to self-compassion. This is amazing. Yeah, shift out of this into this. And that's going to lead you to something amazing. What's it going to lead us to? What I'm going to pick another. We're at 30 minutes. Holy major arcana, Batman. The Hierophant. This is a card. I want to say it's about spirituality. Um, Spiritual practice. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I was just noticing her wings. It's like it's like moving from this to this by practicing whatever that means to you. Um, Diving into your spiritual practice. Um, It says, when this card appears, it reminds me to be committed to a spiritual practice to ensure a conscious contact to my higher power. When I have a daily practice of prayer and meditation, steeped in gratitude and committed to being a co creator, life works out in wondrous ways. Rituals are in my highest good at this time. Exchanging vows is also highlighted. So, yeah, it could be a card of marriage, but really in this reading, I'm really getting that this is what you're stepping into. Um, by doing the things. Meditation or prayer, and the gratitude thing is so important. And this keeps coming up over and over again. And if you're not sure what to do about that, start a gratitude journal. I have one of those where, like before you go to bed, write down, 3 or 5 things that have happened to you during the day that that you're grateful for, or think about what in your life you're grateful for. And it can be anything. It can be like that you know, you got to see the sunrise, that you have legs to walk on, or, that you're feeling generally healthy, or that you have, even just one person around you who loves and supports you. Whatever it is, so often we forget all of the amazing things that we have around us that we have already manifested. And, it's very easy to take things for granted because we're like, oh, yeah, whatever. I've had this thing for a while. We're very adaptable beings, but then that ends up being so often it makes us forget how awesome everything is that has come to us. And so by doing that, then that helps put you in a higher vibration, a higher frequency, when you start to appreciate what you have. And then the other important point is that appreciating the little things, you start to practice noticing the little things. And then when the big thing comes, I really feel like this is, this is kind of the ultimate thing. The what you're moving into, a way of being, but also it's it's embodying a way of being so that you are able to invite in all the abundance that life has to offer. Then you can appreciate the big thing, because you've been practicing appreciating the little things. Whereas if the big thing comes and you've been working hard to get that, and then it comes and goes, which is what happens. We have the big moment of climax, and then it's over. And we can feel kind of like, oh, that's it. That's it. Okay, now what? And it can end up making us feel a little empty inside. So, so practice the little things, because then the big thing comes and we're already used to practicing. So then we can really be there in the moment to appreciate it. And then be like, okay, this big thing happened. Now, what's the next thing that I'm going to appreciate? Whether it's big or small, it doesn't matter. It's the point is learning to notice all the great things, all the miracles that are coming to you every single day. And the miracles are constant. You just have to open up to them. So, okay. That was an awesome reading. And I'm sorry it went so long, but sometimes the messages, they come through the way they come through, and it's more important to tell you what you need to know. So if you stayed with me for this long, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night, rest of tomorrow, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you on the next video. Mwah. And like and subscribe. And leave